Is Dubai known for a strong military?
No.
No. So does it kind of make you think, man, I kind of need at least the place I live to have a strong military?
Well, this is the thing, because what I've been looking at, these cheap drones which are flying, only 20 to 50K to produce, to intercept one of them can be up to 1 mil or 10 mil. So there's a massive difference in price. So if you can keep firing those drones, they're not exactly going to be creating the biggest blasts, but they'll be causing problems.
They no doubt they are, but the part becomes like, people say, I'm going to go live in Costa Rica. No military, no nothing. It's great. It's phenomenal. I'm going to go live in this country. When we're living at a time like this, a girl will say, I'm going to go date that Calvin Klein looking model, skinny, 6'1", 140 pounds. Look how great he looks.
A walking red flag.
Until a fight breaks out. Then he says, I wish I was still with you, right? Because you can protect me. What is the one thing above all that women, when they get to a phase of wanting to have kids and settling down, what's the one thing they prioritize when they find a husband? One thing.
They want stability, security.
That's what they want. And nothing's above that, by the way.
Yeah.
What's the one thing a mother thinks of 3 kids? Are my kids safe? Is it secure? Is it stable? That's what she's thinking about, especially if a war happens. They're not thinking about, do you have a Patek watch? Do you have a Lambo parked outside? Do you have a penthouse? They're not thinking about that. They're thinking security and safety. So to me, when a war like this breaks out, a lot of people start saying, look, what are you guys doing to your military? What are you doing to protect? I have a lot of friends in Dubai, and 2 types of people message me. The one will message me and they'll say, there's nothing going on. It's fully safe. It's good. This is all hype. It's BS. It's great. We feel safer than ever before. I feel much safer in Dubai than I do in, London or in Miami or in LA. They'll say this. And then there are clients that are visiting. They'll say, look, man, I brought my kids here for a month. I brought them here for 2 weeks, and I'm concerned with what's going on. One of them is right, or maybe they're both partially right. But the reality of it is, with the situation in the Middle East, here's what we do know. The facts are the following. We do know that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, if they had the opportunity to kill somebody who is pro-America or pro-Israel or any of that stuff, they don't believe neither one of those need to exist. Second one, facts. They're very comfortable killing 30,000 to 100,000 of their own people. Because there's different levels to it, right? Let's go through it. Let's go from the person who is a Mother Teresa person and it's all about peace, right here. Then there's the person that's like, look, even if you slap me, I'm going to turn my cheek and slap this cheek. That person, fully, no fights, I want peace. Then the next one is, look, you hit me, I'm telling you stop. And then you're like, okay, I'll stop. All right. Next one is, you hit me, I'm hitting, why'd you hit me back? You hit me. Okay, so it's very street. You hit me, I hit you back. Then there is the one, you didn't hit them. They just came and flat out hit you. I'm like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Bully, right? Then you go to the person at the highest level is who? The person that's willing to kill his own. There is nobody above that.
Yeah.
If the person's willing to kill his own, who are you? Who am I? Nobody. Everybody is dispensable. If they're willing to kill their own people and their own kids and their own population, men and women, gladly, and now they're saying it, screaming it off the top of their lungs, they'll do that. How does everybody else feel? So to me, the argument when you get to it, nobody wanted to see a war happen. Nobody wanted to see this thing escalate at all. Nobody wanted to see that take place. But now that it's done and you're in this situation, to me, if they now walk out and don't finish the job, I think the next 40 years are going to be 10 times worse than they thought it's going to be.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good it's specifically not good for Saudi, Dubai, UAE, all those guys that are there. It's not good for them.
Speaking of situations, here's a hypothetical situation. If you, for whatever reason, were placed as the new supreme leader of Iran, what would you do?
If I am?
Yeah.
So if I'm the leader of Iran, what would I do? The first thing you have to deal with is the 500,000, 200,000 soldiers that you have, but National Guard, everything together, reservists. You have 500,000 people that are pro-IRGC. What do you do with them? When Khomeini got in and the Shah, the king of Iran, had his generals, this guy, what he did is just kill all of them. So he went and killed all the generals. He would, and to make an example of them, here's what we're doing. And then he would go and kill certain people from part of the Baha'i community. Or, hey, you're a pro part of his camp, we're going to kill you as well. People feared it. They were escaping nonstop, or they were not saying anything. You're a Christian, keep it to yourself. You're a Jew, keep it to yourself. Make sure nobody knows what ethnicity, what nationality you are. You're Iranian. You're pro the regime, right? So the first challenge we'd have is the military. Okay, you have to work with the military to find a way. And alone, Iran cannot do it alone. You just cannot do it alone. You're going to need someone's help. So if U.S. is your back, and I know U.S. is backing me up, and we're going to the military, they have a choice. Either flip, or you don't have a job, and we got to figure out. And the most extremists, maybe we got to put you in a place to make sure you're under surveillance. Maybe you got to put you on a property and almost arrest you for a few months because you've killed so many innocent people and you're a part of it. So to make sure that you're not going to get too extreme. So it's going to be different levels. Some of them already been killed. Some of them you have to arrest. Some of them you have to ask to flip. And if we're able to get the main influencers at the top to flip, the U.S. has a program called the Rewards for Justice. Rewards for Justice is where you literally go and you say, hey, you're the right-hand guy to him. I'll give you $10 million if you flip on him. Rewards for Justice. You go find this guy, we're going to give you $15 million. You find Maduro, it's $25 million. Rewards for Justice is a department that is ran. So number one is the military, first one. Number two, immediately open up the floodgates of the economy for the people started winning. If I go and I work with the president and we start having conversations about sanctions, we start having conversations about removing sanctions so we can start doing business with others, and then Iranians start saying, well, I'm now free. I now have access to social media. Other countries want to come and invest into us, and we're now seeing good things happening. We didn't have these sanctions. We had sanctions before. They're gone now. You kidding me? This is amazing. So then they start seeing that peace and trust that's coming in. First thing is we got to make sure people feel safe and secure, and they don't feel like that right now. Once that happens, the Iranian people are pretty bold. Once that happens, you need an event for celebration. And the way you do that is to bring a famous artist from your U.S. over there. So you have to put something for a week that's just showing who do they want to see, westernized ideas.
Get Ronaldo on the football team.
Get Ronaldo. Like but seriously, like something like that, like what they did. That was a very good move. So if you bring a Beyonce to do a concert, you bring in Eminem to do a concert, you bring some of these guys to do concert, you bring a Morgan Wallen, some of these music that they're listening to. But it's going to be a lot of work. Your biggest enemy is going to be those 200 to 500,000 true believers that fully support what Khamenei and Islamic Revolutionary Guard is doing. You have to find a way to flip those guys, and that's going to be the hardest work.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in getting into politics?
Not in Iran?
No, here in the U.S.
I can't be a president, so I don't have any interest for governor. Governor to me is, I get approached here in Florida. Do I want to go be the governor of the state of Florida? Zero interest. I have no desire to be the governor of Florida. It's not, I want to solve big problems.
Yeah.
I want to solve big problems, big worldly problems. I think governors is a very honorable job. It's a tough job. I don't have any interest for that. If I was born here, I would definitely entertain running for president, but not governor.
When you talk about big problems, what are the big problems you want to solve?
I mean, this is one of the bigger problems we're dealing with, right? I mean, you talk about what's going on with Iran right now. It's one of the bigger problems, where what would happen if that language wasn't there? If the language of death upon America, death upon all these different people wasn't there? What would that look like? What would happen if, we were able to get people to realize, listen, accept capitalism.
Yeah.
Understand why capitalism benefits everybody. When you were in school, it was very simple. Do you have any kids? Okay. So I have 4 kids. All right. So if right now, what are things that you would fight for if it came down to it, where you would make the right decisions because you have a lot to lose? What are the top 3 things that you have to lose in life that it would totally make you force you to make right decisions? What would you say those 3 things are?
If I've got kids?
Not even kids, just right now for yourself.
Say the question again. So
what are the 3 most important things in life you have right now that you will do anything to prevent losing?
Health.
Okay.
I guess mental wellness, but that probably comes under health. Financial stability.
Financial stability? Okay.
Yeah.
Financial stability. You make pretty good money. If you had nothing to lose, if you have no assets, you have no properties, no family, no mom, no dad, no siblings, no nephew, no niece, you literally have nothing to lose. How dangerous are you to society?
Very dangerous.
Very.
Yeah.
So how do we fight that? The way we fight that is by helping as many people have a lot to lose.
Mm-hmm.
If we can help you get a business where you make enough money, that you're living the life that you want to live, maybe you live in a nice place, nice car, travel, good food, take care of yourself, wear the clothes you want to wear, you're making better decisions in life.
Mm-hmm.
If we can have you, more the population getting married, having kids, you're making better decisions in your life. If you have 2 or 3 kids, you want them to go to school, you want them to be good citizens, you want them to maybe later on, if they don't want to go to school, they start a business, they become content creators. You're concerned about their future. You're better for society, right? If we can get more of the world to be thinking about that and having more to lose, the world becomes safer. When you look at some of these countries that their mindset is, my son just he dressed as a bomb and he walked into that building and he gave up his life because of our religion. That's not normal.
No.
But and by the way, Dubai, if there's any credit you got to give to Dubai doesn't tolerate any crime.
No.
Dubai doesn't tolerate anything. You do that, they're kicking you out. Like, listen, you can't do any of that stuff here. Neither does UAE, neither does Saudi. A lot of these places, they want it to be safe because they understand what's the most important thing. But some of these countries like Iran and other places that you have, they don't. So to me, the bigger problem to solve is how can we get more people to accept the ideology of that and shift that mindset? That is a 20-year problem, maybe a 40-year problem. But if we can all sit there and we're doing a business together, he has equity in the company, he has equity in the company, you have equity in his equity is 2.8 million, his equity is 1.6 million, your equity is 48 million, my equity is 32 million. We're not doing it. We're protecting what we have together.
Mm-hmm.
But if everybody else is kind of like, wow, who cares? I have nothing to lose. They make bad decisions. I want to make it in an environment where more people have more to lose. If we have a lot of people that are, thinking the world in a very different way, that they could care less if they lose anything, you have a reckless society. And Iran, unfortunately, the government, not the people are phenomenal people. The government it's got a very different way of living their lives the way we do. But yeah, for me, I want to solve bigger problems. That would be one of them.
So I guess it's the case of you really want to be in a populations where there's a lot of good role models around. Because I think especially, it seems to me, this is largely down to social media, the best role models don't necessarily seem to get a whole lot of attention. If we're looking at the case of like young boys and teenagers, they seem to be attracted to a lot of the guys who are kind of selling the lifestyle of, the fancy cars, the women, being able to do whatever you want, which I think largely is not a good message to be spreading, particularly if you're the type of person who's trying to advocate having multiple women or even having kids with multiple women. I can't really see that working out very well. So how have you been able to be, first of all, a good role model for your kids, but also for the people who are watching your stuff?
Yeah, it's a good question. So to me, I get along pretty much with everybody. So it doesn't matter. The way you choose to live your life is your choice. I also will give feedback and counsel to anybody. And I'll say, look, I don't know if you're heading in the right direction. Mm-hmm. I don't judge you as the way you want to live. I just don't think you're. Why is that? Let's have a conversation. Why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. What are you solving? I had a call the other day with a guy who probably has 100 million followers on all social. It's a very big influencer. I'm like, what is your outcome with life? What are you doing? He's in his early 40s. Well, what's next for you? I don't even know. I said, no, but really, what is next for you?
Has he got kids or no?
He's got no kids. I said, do you not want to experience this next phase of life? I don't even think, what about, I said, no, just level with me. Forget about politics for a second. Don't you want to experience the juice of life? The juice of life. My left ear right now is completely, I can't hear anything. Why? Saturday, I was at the beach in Miami, okay? And I'm out. By the way, my entire body is red right now because I was out under the sun in Miami. And let me tell you, Everywhere we went, like the shirt's touching it right now. You know the feel I'm talking about. But I'm in the beach, and we won't go into the water because my oldest son is in the water. He's like, come to the water. So I go with him, and then my youngest son comes, and then my 9-year-old daughter is like, Daddy, hold me. I want to go with you. But hold my hand. Don't let go. Don't let go. Don't let go. And then eventually she's out there. She's having the time of her life. And then the wife comes in, and then my 4-year-old is out there looking at me, and she will not come. I have to run, chase her, grab her. She's screaming, kicking me. I have her up here, and I take her in the water. And I said, one time you have to accept that we're going to go under the water together. No, 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 no. I go under this one wave, hits my ear. So my ear is completely, I can't hear anything. I got to go texting a doctor the entire time. But you know what? That 3 hours of us in the water, I can't tell you how much that's worth to me. Mm-hmm. All the money and literally, if you told me you have a choice of experiencing that or you're the richest man in the world, I'm taking this. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm the richest man in the world just because they're around me. Yeah. Holding her in my arm, and she just climbing with her legs and scratching my back. And the other one is like, I finally face my fear. My sons are in the water. They're getting on my shoulders, and I'm holding their hands, and we're doing the jump into the... It's such a great time. But you know, that to get to is something that's been important to me my entire life because I had a good father. Some men had a upbringing that was a little bit more crazy where maybe they don't trust people too early. Maybe a woman betrayed them. We've all been betrayed by a woman, and we've also done the betraying. But we've been betrayed by women where you're with a girl, you're giving your best, and she hooks up with another guy. You're devastated. I'll never let a woman do this to me. Sometimes guys just become so hard shell on the outside because they don't ever want to allow a woman like that do anything to them, right? Mm-hmm. So I understand all of that. Men are sensitive, but in a private way, not in a public way. We've all been hurt in a different way. The realities of life is risk. You got to take the risk with a girl. If it's a 50-50, I don't know if it's going to work out. You don't know if it's going to work out. None of us know everything about the girls we're with. You have no clue what their past is. Is there like a way to go find out how many times she swiped right and how many? There's nothing. Mm. She can tell you 20 and it's 100. You have to believe it. She can tell you 2 and it's 19. How are you going to find out? What are you going to do to go investigate that? So there is risk in that. There's risk in having kids. There's risk in all this stuff. But for me, when I think about it, even though I still have these types of people around me and I have the conversations with them, eventually you look at what was cool in your late teens, early 20s. In your early 20s, the Playboy was cool. Hugh Hefner, Marilyn Monroe on the cover of a Playboy magazine. You know, this guy's been with this many. Like, oh my God, so cool. Look at that guy. There was a guy in our community, a good friend of mine. He had been around with 1,500 girls. And he went to jail for 9 years, came back. He was one of the biggest ecstasy dealers that there was. Good-looking guy, in shape. Girls were crazy, but we'd go to parties and I would see this guy do some stuff. Crazy about this guy, right? Crazy about
with his drug dealers.
But that's what it was. Yeah. Crazy, but he had access to everything, right? And guess what? In your early 20s, yeah. Later on, you eventually are like, so maybe that works with an audience. Doesn't work with a 45-year-old.
No, it's not cool.
It doesn't work with 40. Listen, I'm good. I want to have a life. I want to build something special. So it depends. If you're 55 years old still thinking about being that guy, you made some real bad decisions in your life.
Yeah.
You know, you made some real bad decisions in your life. It should be out of your system and just kind of like moving on to the next phase. But I understand that everybody's different. For me, there's nothing comes close to building a family and spending time with those guys. It's priceless.
Did you watch the new Louis Theroux documentary on Netflix?
No.
The Manosphere?
No.
It's quite interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it called? Louis Theroux?
Louis Theroux. He's a British, I guess he's a documentarian. He does documentaries.
What's it called?
The Inside the Manosphere.
I have to see that.
But he's got Justin's in it, Myron from Fresh and Fit's in it.
Really?
There's a guy called HS who's in it. There's Sneeko.
What's it about? Is it about...